difficult to say, my marriage must work in Jesus' name. My marriage must work. Because now the negative, now the bad ones, the bad ones that they full social media, the ones where they work, they not even get.
They said it's the bad marriages that's full on that you find all over social media. Some of your biggest gurus are people that have failed in marriage. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. All right. So because of that, people are. I understand where people start, which is fake marriage gurus, right? I want to talk about fake marriage gurus. Now, the people I'm talking to, these are the kind of people I'm talking to. Okay, who is this segment for? Let me be very, very clear. I need to be very clear here. This segment is only for you if you want to be or want to stay married. Okay, and I'm talking precisely monogamous marriage. Okay, if you're looking for polygamous marriage, you may still find some tips here, but maybe not directly. Okay, you may have to do some extraction yourself. But if you're looking to be married or you're looking to stay married, then what I'm about to say is absolutely for you. If you've never been married before, there's a good chance you're about to take an offense to what I'm about to say. Okay? If you've been married before and you've been divorced before, there's a good chance you're about to take an offense to what I'm about to say. Okay? There's a chance. Okay? Because I understand that it's 2022. Okay? And everyone thinks they know one or two things about everything, right? Especially, this is like the knowledge generation, right? When you have the knowledge generation, meaning everyone has a certain level of knowledge, like heighten the knowledge, and everyone can jump on Google and Google stuff and search for stuff and read books. And in fact, I'm almost about to say, like, people are reading too much books, but it's not about reading too much books. It's about reading so much books you're not really getting into the application stage. You're not applying anything. You're just you're reading it, you're regurgitating it right back out without application, right? So we have people that are reading the other book, what's his name? Rollo Tomasi's book. I forgot the name now, but anyway, you get the point, right? The 5 Love Languages, all this marriage relationship book, Steve Harvey's book. People are reading this stuff, right? Extremely popular books, right? But there's no application. And when there's no application, there's no experience. And experience will remain the best teacher ever, and ever, right? Right? Experience is going to remain the best teacher. It's very, very simple, right? One of the books that I read personally is called The 3% Man by Coach Corey Wayne. Guy suggested to read it 10 to 15 times. He was not joking. It's because, again, when you read the second time, third time, most people are not going to get to the second time, right? Most people are ready to jump to the next book because, again, they're just soaking in so much knowledge. And when you have so much knowledge, like oversupply of anything in life becomes less value, right? That's just basic economics, right? Oversupply of anything in life becomes overly, right? Almost everything, let me say, because never say never. You can't. I don't like making absolute statements. But today, I think I'm about to make an absolute statement. So again, if you want to be married, you want to stay married, what I'm about to say is for you, particularly if you're looking for a monogamous relationship. Everything else is like, because again, I don't want to teach you something I don't practice. As a matter of fact, I strongly agree with JT here, right? If somebody is selling something that they've never practiced, they don't practice, they've never gotten results in it, right? They are precisely my definition of fake guru. A lot of times they're doing it not necessarily because they want to deliberately scam people. It's because, again, they're delusional like the rest of this generation. They think because they can read one or two things online that's it, that they know something about it. Sometimes I've had people say, hey, I've lived with people before, so because of that, so therefore, I know a little something about marriage. No, you don't. You're full of shit like the rest of us, okay? No, you don't, all right? Let's be frank, okay? So again, the number one people that might fall in the category, I use the word might, but I really want to say 100%, okay? I don't like speaking in absolute, but I think I mean 100%. If they've never been married before, they can't talk to you about marriage. Not if you want to be married or stay married, okay? You can't listen to these people, okay? You can't. They've never been married before. Everything they know about marriage has been hearsay. They don't know nothing about it. I don't care if they're one day away from marriage. I don't care if they've dated multiple girlfriends. I don't care if they have 1,500 lay counts. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. They can't tell you shit about marriage. They need to keep it moving. They need to focus on themselves and stop trying to teach about marriage. They need to, if they've observed other people's lifestyle and they observe Will Smith and Jada and and Warren Buffett and the wife and Bill Gates and the ex-wife, if they've observed all of that, they need to keep observing. Don't listen to them. Okay? Yes, sometimes they make sense. Okay? But again, just take it from me, okay? Number 2, if they're presently not married, okay? They're presently not married. They can't advise you on marriage. There is a reason why they are presently not married. They can't advise you on success in marriage. They may be able to advise you on how they failed in marriage and how to avoid certain pitfalls, yes. But again, they won't be able to tell you how to achieve success in marriage for the obvious reason. People are very okay because they're not married, that makes their point invalid. Yeah, this one is an absolute yes. Okay, particularly for you because you've told me that you want to be married and you want to stay married, or you want to stay married and or you want to stay married. Okay, if you could care less, if you're indifferent about marriage, then you feel free, entertain yourself, keep listening to them, right? But again, there's certain things that these people, number 1, never been married. Number 2, presently not married. There's certain things that's going to come from their biases, their filters, and their lens of life, right? That is just not healthy for anyone who wants to be or stay married. It's just not healthy. Okay, at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we're emotional beings, and your lens and your filters and your biases are created by your influences. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are. Okay, what you surround yourself with will influence you. And by the way, vice versa, you do have influence on other people as well. But typically, most people are not engaged with their power to influence, right? So a good book for how to influence and how to win friends is Dale Carnegie, How to Win and Influence Friends. If you want to engage your power of influence in life in general, and particularly it's very good for relationships and marriage as well. It will require some kind of translation, but you get the gist. Number 3 type of fake marriage gurus that you never want to listen to if you care for success in marriage. Okay, if you care for success, you want to be and you want to stay married, right? You want to be careful with them. There's some things you can learn from this group of people, but you don't want to just soak in everything they have to say, because again, your filters, your biases are created by your influences, right? There are people that have failed in marriage. If they failed in marriage, especially multiple times in marriage, I mean, come on, success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. And if this sounds like shot fired, it is what it is. I'm just telling you right now, if you care, again, I'm talking to people that want to be and stay married. You can learn what not to do in marriage from people that are presently married. Okay, you can. Okay, you can. All right, you can learn what not to do because they have the experience. Not only that, they're still succeeding, and for every day they stay in there, you can consider that a level of success. Now, not everyone that's married are happily married. Granted, absolutely, you don't want to listen to everyone that's married. Okay, because some people, but you can tell in 1 or 2 sentences if they're enjoying their marriage or not. When you have people that get very, very excited about talking down on women, there's a good chance they're not having a good time in their marriage, even if they're still married. There are many of them out there. They are married. They're very quick to remind you that they're married because they're trying to gain some kind of credibility. But there is a reason, there's a bias, there's an agenda to why they get very excited about the idea of talking down on women. Now, it's not that women are always 100% good people, okay? But I'm talking about the excitement you see in their face. From your own subjective standpoint, you feel like they get too excited. Now, I said, yes, I did say subjective, not objective, but all subjective, right? So it's bullshit when they say they're objective usually, right? But precisely from a subjective standpoint, you, based on your observation, you feel like they have a tendency to talk down on women. a tendency, you feel that way, feelings, meaning it doesn't have to be accurate, there is a good chance that they're not enjoying their marriage. Okay. I would say, again, they're definitely not going to teach you everything that's good about a woman. They don't like that. They don't like the idea, like they push against it, right? For the most part, right? Um, some of them, I don't know why, but I can tell you that it's coming from a place of pain. Pain is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you don't heal, yes, it can be a bad thing. Number four type of people that I feel like you should be careful with listening. This one, be careful with listening to advice from there. Are people that are married under 10 years. Okay, people that are married under 10 years, they haven't, in my humble opinion. Oh, by the way, I've been married for 15 years, so it may sound like I'm giving myself accolade, but it is what it is. Okay, if what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about this advice either. Okay, but if it makes sense, let me know. Okay, if they've been married for under 10 years, they haven't had enough up and downs in a marriage to be able to in order to be able to, what's the word, to in order to give you like an overall good outlook on marriage, and then focus on the things that you need to do to create success in it, right? Under 10 years, there is a likelihood that most of it they haven't enjoyed it, right? There's a likelihood. 10 years goes by so quick, right? Some of you, you're gonna look for your 30s. You're not gonna find, you're like, where did that go? And in your 40s, you're gonna be like, okay, let me relax. Life is not that deep, right? That's because 10 years is really nothing at the end of the day. So if they haven't been married for at least 10 years, right? And I'm kind of like doubling that, because any marriage that goes past 5 years have done really good, done very well, especially if they're enjoying it for the most part, right? Because most marriages that are collapsing are doing it under 5 years, right? So if they've been married for under 10 years, they can't really teach you. No, they can't. I'm sorry. Okay, they can't. You need to find people that have been married for more than 10 years. Again, precisely for you, if you want to be married or you want to stay married. If you don't want any one of these things, or you're indifferent about it, there are women who are indifferent about it because the feminazis are teaching them to do that. There are also men who are indifferent about it because the manosphere is teaching them, like, don't put marriage on the pedestal. That's fine. You don't have to listen to any one of this. You can go back to the free lifestyle agents and they will teach you everything that's terrible about marriage and women. Okay, but if you want to be married and you want to stay married, listen to me carefully. Okay, there are very few people that can teach you how to become successful in a marriage, and to me that means you're happily married for more than 10 years. Okay, as a matter of fact, it really should be a lifetime, because you continue to get to know this person for the rest of your life. Okay, but at some point I had to put some kind of numbers on it, but I have to remove the cap as well, because there are people that have been 25 years in marriage and they divorced. We had like 2 different examples over the past few days. I may even show that in a few minutes here, right? Okay, they've been married for 20, and these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. 25 years and they become empty nester, that's what they call them, and then they call it quits. It happens. Okay, so it's not really about the numbers, it's about the more the experience in a happy marriage. Precisely, happy marriage. Not everyone that's married is happy, but you can tell from what they're saying. Okay, say, listen, I know the nature of women. Okay, I'm not mad at God because of the nature of woman. If somebody is angry with God because of the nature of woman and they claim to be married, meaning how can you tell if they're mad at the nature of a woman? How can you tell? Because they're always arguing with women on social media. They're married, yes, maybe for a few years, but they're always in argument about marriage and relationships with women. And they find different things to blame it on. They blame it on society, they blame it on feminazis, they blame it on media, yes, right? And it's not about those things are not necessarily a cause of where we are as a community. It's about when men blame everything else outside of the guy in the mirror on the collapse of society. That right there tells you more about that person. Okay, it tells you more. Okay, all right. So that's it. That's those are. Let me do a quick recap for you just to make sure that you have this. Number one, never be married. Number two, presently not married. Number three, failed in marriage. Number four, married under 10 years. If anybody is being a marriage guru, and even if they went to school for this, okay, yes, even those that have degrees, they're all fake gurus. Okay, because experience is everything. Experience is everything. It gives you all of the different nuances, and they tend to. There are very good ones that went to school and they're not married. I'm just saying, you may want to look at them with a side eye a little bit. Okay, but there's a lot of nuances in your own personal life as an individual. You can also expect that a partner, a wife, or a husband, we have a lot of nuances of things that's going on with them. And if you don't have a person that can break it down to what happened, tell me the story. If they want to generalize all the time or push data in front of your face all the time, they can't teach you marriage. They're going to paint marriage very badly for you, and you're going to see red everywhere when they talk about marriage. And you can't produce any good fruit if you go into marriage with that mindset. Okay, so I try to be as objective as possible with what I just said, but nonetheless, I understand how these things work. Some people may take an offense for it. It's what it is. I'm okay with that, but if you want to be or stay married, pay attention to what I just said. Rewind it and watch it all over again. All right. So let's see here. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and go into the subway stuff, right? This guy on the subway, that basically the subway shooting the suspect, right? Let's go ahead and talk about that really quickly, because this guy decided. Let me just share my screen with you really quickly. All right, great. This guy right here. A couple of questions that I have. Right, let me just go ahead and take a 30 seconds break, and then we'll come right back to it. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, good. So a couple of things I want to cover before I leave this marriage guru issue, right? A couple of questions I think I should answer that I get all the time, right? Is every marriage unique? The answer is yes. Is that like a real advice? No, that's a stupid advice. Okay, let me be clear. Is every marriage unique? Yes. Is that really a usable or useful advice? No. It's a stupid advice. It's not even an advice. It's basically what people say when they don't want to listen, when they don't want to acknowledge that there is something to learn, when they don't want to acknowledge that confusion should equals to time to learn something new, right? So let me repeat that. Is every marriage unique? Yes. Is that really an advice? No, that's a stupid advice. Is that useful for you in any form of advice? No, it's a stupid one, okay? Here's why. Successful marriage has patterns. There are patterns, okay? You listen, if you find a 20-year person that's been married for 20 years, been married for 25 years, you find 10 of them, and you ask them and say, tell me what makes a successful marriage. I'm sure you'll find 10 things that's common to all of them. Some of them will be humility, patience, okay? You'll find those in there. Like humility, patience, you will find that somewhere there, right? There's a good tendency you won't find talks like masculinity, femininity. I tell people, hey, this femininity, masculinity, slow down on it. I talk about that a lot because, again, I want you to, once we get down to bottom of things, I want you to understand the emotional dynamics and the masculine, feminine dynamics. But if I don't really, if I don't really know what's going on with you, it's probably going to be useless for you. You have men out here running around thinking that masculinity means being a man. That's completely false, Okay, there's no such thing as masculinity without the presence of femininity, right? It's they have to kind of like coexist. One, you have to, in order to explain it properly, you have to explain both. You can't say I'm just in my masculine frame as a man, and there's no intersexual dynamics being talked about, right? We can't say, hey, this woman is masculine at work. Based on what? There's no sexual dynamics. Why are we talking about that, right? All right. So now, within this context of this conversation that I have here, I will only talk to you about masculine and feminine energy when it comes to sexual polarity. Yes, I do play that video for fun sometimes, where I show you how a woman will kick your butt if you go there with a feminine energy, right? This video right here, let me play it for you. This video. Right, that video, right? I play it to you just so you can, as a parable, right? This is what happens to you if you don't understand that you should not be engaging a woman that you're romantically involved with in a feminine way. But yes, we can use it in different ways, maybe in just random arguments on social media and stuff like that. It tends to be consistent, but generally speaking, we don't use that, right? So anyway, the other question I want to answer here is there a formula to success in marriage? The answer is yes. There is a formula. There are basically single people that have failed in marriage running around. Some people are actually in marriage as well, but typically there are people that have one issue or the other in marriage, or maybe living in a broken marriage. They'll tell you there's no formula to success in marriage. That is a bold-faced lie. There is success to any institution since the beginning of mankind. Okay, it's a great way to pat yourself on the back to say it's okay to fail. Okay, it's just like I'll take that. But there is formula, the success formula for marriage. Okay, is marriage a badge of honor? Depends on who we're talking to. People that are enjoying marriage, they will tell you it is a badge of honor. So I'll tell you, yes, it's a badge of honor, right? People that have failed in marriage, yeah. People that are afraid of marriage, yes, they will tell you it's not a badge of honor. People that spend their time listening to everything terrible going on in marriage, which I get it. That's what you're going to mostly find in this arena, right? Social media, they will tend to tell you that yes, it's not a badge of honor. But the thing is that successful marriage is absolutely a badge of honor. As a matter of fact, some marriage is not exactly successful. They're not enjoying it, but they look good on the outside, and it creates certain types of results for them in real life that you can easily translate back to badge of honor. So when we're saying this thing, we create all these talking points to make ourselves feel better about our failures. I don't think we're necessarily doing ourselves any favor by doing that, right? Let me play this short video for you in terms of what this gentleman, his name is Nedu, I think. Nedu is an OAP in Nigeria. I'm not sure if that's a stage name. Nedu. Nedu. Let me play.
Comment go to say, my marriage must work in Jesus' name. My marriage must work. Because now the negative, now the bad ones, the bad ones that they full social media, the ones where they work, they not even get.
They said it's the bad marriages that's full on, that you find all over social media. Some of your biggest gurus are people that have failed in marriages. Okay, it is what it is. Okay. All right. So because of that, people are. I understand where people start to create all this rhetorics, and I understand, but just know that that's not going to help you, because there's a high likelihood you're going to try to marry, right? And if you go into it with this mindset of just a failed mindset, toxic mindset, you're going to attract exactly what you fear the most. Okay.
Time for social media can they make you feel say, oh, marriage not the work, marriage is bad. So I think, to be quite honest with you, marriage is not overrated. It's just now with the person where you did, and now you go carry the person, person where you're not supposed to carry to sit down for house. That's all.
Now you want marry content creator.
All right, so there's nothing wrong with content creator. I'm a content creator and I've been married for 15 years, but I get what they're saying. There's a lot of popular content creators that are failing in marriages. Some of them are failed in marriages and all this kind of stuff, right? But again, if you like what I'm saying here and you want to hear more about marriage, share, but also go to the homepage of this channel. You'll see Lola and Ola. You can click into that channel. My wife and I talk about everything that creates success in marriage, because we are basically living life evidence that it can work in a very fantastic, enjoying your life type of way. Okay, so that doesn't mean we're perfect. It just means we are enjoying, we're having a good time. Okay. Uh, if you think because a marriage is not perfect, you should avoid it. It's like saying because life is not perfect, you want to avoid life. That doesn't make any sense, right? Of course, nothing is perfect, but that's the point. That's why you need to. That's why it's a game that you. I call it a game because there are skill sets that you have to learn, and you're not going to learn this skill set. One thing I always tell people, not to stretch this out too far, is that if you want to become a PhD holder, you don't go ask advice from college dropouts, right? Now, there are some nuances, there's some exceptions, right? I get it, okay? But everything else being equal, you would want to talk to a person who is at least heading in the direction of a PhD, or they are already a PhD holder, right? Before not going to talk to. Some people will say, what about Elon Musk? I'm like, you're missing the point. Missing the point. Even Elon Musk would have a bunch of PhD on his research team. You get the gist, right? He's not stupid. Let's not be stupid with our lives. The marriage is your life. If you're trying to do it, at least in a traditional sense, it's basically your life, right? And you don't want to say things like it's not a badge of honor. Like, if something is not a badge of honor, why would you put any effort into making it work? Doesn't make sense, right? Exactly. So yes, I'll be right back in about 30 seconds so we can dive into the rest of the live stream. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestateWholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that.